Hey, what's up everybody? This is Coach Chris with Beyond Strength Performance Nova here in Dulles, Virginia. And in this week's video, we're going to go over using different grips for different lifts. Because if we use the same gripping strategy for all of our lifts, we're probably going to wind up with some torn up, uncomfortable hands. We're not going to be in the safest position for all of our different lifts, and generally we're going to wind up frustrated as a lifter. So we're going to go over things like gripping the barbell for deadlifts, RDLs, bent over rows, anything where we come from the top down and overhand grip the barbell. We're also going to talk about the difference whenever we switch to things like a bench press grip versus an overhead press grip. And then we're going to go to the kettlebell, and we're going to talk about static position kettlebell drills like swing, the deadlift, RDLs, compared to dynamic grip lifts like our cleans, our snatches, anything where the kettlebell is actually transitioning in our hand, okay? And if you apply this stuff, you're probably going to find that your hands don't get torn up with as many calluses building up, and that you generally feel more comfortable with your lifts, and you'll be in safer positions. Okay, so the first one that we're going over is our overhand grip when it comes to our RDLs, deadlifts, bent over rows, anything where we're coming from a standing position, coming down, grabbing the bar. A common mistake we see is that people over-grip the bar. They'll actually take their hand, come all the way down here into the meat of the hand, close it, right? And this looks like a strong position to be in, and it is, but it's not a comfortable position to be in, because what happens is we close our hand, and then the line of like the top of our fingers where our calluses are actually folds over and pinches between the bar and our fingers, and that's how we tear calluses or we get much bigger callus formation than we need. It's not comfortable. So instead, we come over top of the bar and we actually grab it almost in our fingertips, and then we close our hand really tightly around the bar. It winds up being almost in the same position. We still kind of get it up into the meat of our hand, the strong portion of our hand, but without going top down and pinching off that area and making it painful. So anytime that we approach the bar for RDLs, for deadlifts, for bent over rows, anything where we come from the top down and grab the bar, we simply go to fingertips, and then we close our hand tightly around the bar, and this is going to put us in the best position with our hands to not tear them up and to generally be more comfortable while we lift. Okay, so now we're going to go over our grip whenever we're doing bench press and overhead press, and these two are a little bit different from each other. And even further, they're different than the grip that we just went over for our barbell, RDLs, deadlifts, bent over rows, anything with that overhand grip, okay? So we're going to go with bench press first. Now, whenever we're setting up for our bench press, we're going to come back, get underneath the bar. We're not going to go over things like width of our hands, because that's so specific to the individual and what you're trying to get after with regards to using the bench press. But what we are going to go over is how we hold the bar in our hands. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to hold our hand open and make a V with our thumb, okay? Both hands. We're going to figure out the width that you want to be at, and we're going to take that V, and I'm going to place that V on the bar and push into the bar pretty hard with it. I'm going to close my hands. So now, unlike the deadlift, I am getting it down into the meat of my hand and closing tightly around that, because now it's not going to obviously slide upward and pinch off my calluses. This is the strongest position to be in. From here, I get tight, drag the bar forward, and I have strong, stable, straight wrists, okay? Because a common mistake that we see is that people do all of that right, and they come out here with bent wrists. If I drew a straight line down from the bar here, it's behind my forearms, that's not a strong position to press from. So I have those strong, straight wrists. This is where I want to be. The next mistake that we see, and this is really a dangerous one, is that people will actually unrack the bar and bench press without thumbs on the bar, whether that's with a bent wrist or straight, which in my opinion is even more dangerous. With the bent wrist, we're not in a strong position. We don't have our thumb around the bar, so we're not able to really crush it and create that irradiation. And when we have it straight, we're at risk with some weight on the bar of it actually slipping out of our fingers and slamming down on our chest. I don't think we need to go over why this would not be a good thing. So, when we go to set up for the bench press, we push that V into the bar, we crush down on the bar, we drag it forward, strong, stable, straight wrists. This is the best position to be in for our bench press. Okay, so all the safety stuff that we just talked about with wrist position, hand position, grip during the bench press, you can punt that away on this one, kind of, okay? So the overhead press is the one time where we will allow a false grip on the barbell. That's that thumbless grip, but the big difference is with the bench press, we showed that strong, stable wrist position, and that people have a tendency to roll it back, and they'll let it get far back in their hand, and it's not a straight line. With the overhead press, we actually want to put it where it's directly above our wrist, so it can stay somewhere between here and here, with the bar being directly over our forearm, so we still have a strong straight line to press from. This isn't a safe position during the bench press because what's in front of our forearms? Our torso. We don't want to drop the barbell on that like we talked about. But when it comes to the overhead press, if we do lose it, we can just dump the bar and get the heck out of the way. So the reason why we would allow a false grip here is because if people are doing things like cleans, hang cleans, this is the position that the bar is actually going to wind up in. It's going to be back in their fingertips, and then they would actually transition to that false grip and do their pressing from there. But if someone's not doing that, we could still use our bench press grip. We could go here, make that V with our hand, drive that into the bar, strong, stable, straight wrist position, walk it out, and press from here, right? But again, if someone wanted to, this is the one time where we would allow them to place it into their hand like so, strong grip, and press from there, okay? So when it comes to the overhead press, you've got a choice, and that choice really comes down to, are we transitioning out of another lift? Is there a specificity reason why we would want to press with that false grip? If not, we're probably still best with that closed hand, put it into the V of our hand, crush the barbell, and do our overhead press from there. Okay, so now we finally come to our kettlebell lifts, and as we said in the beginning of the video, we're going to go over the difference between static grip kettlebell exercises and dynamic grip kettlebell exercises. Some of our static grip exercises with the kettlebell are swings, deadlifts, RDLs, things like that. And this is basically going to be identical to the way that we grip the barbell with that overhand grip. It's going to go into our fingertips. We want the kettlebell to sit below our calluses and then crush the bell up on top of that, right? So if I'm setting up for something like a single arm swing, I go fingertips here, crush the handle. Not with as much tension as we do for our barbell lifts, but same idea though. Come down and kind of hook it into our fingertips. We don't necessarily need to wrap our thumb and crush the handle now. We can go with a little bit looser of a grip, even have our thumb off to the side here. And then this is where we'll stay for things like swings, anything where the bell is not transitioning in our hands, okay? But if I'm gonna switch over to something like a single arm clean, which starts off just like the swing, the beginning of my grip will be the same, but when I go to that transition to the clean position, it needs to do what we call jump the hump, which is, again, where our calluses are. We don't want to slide the bell back and forth. This is a big no-no. This is going to tear our hands up. Instead, we want to take it from our fingertips, that kind of hook grip, and then we want to jump it to the heel of our palm, so it's in that strong, stable wrist position, much like the bench press. So an easy way to learn this is to come down, grab it so it's in our fingertips with that hook grip, take our other hand, and we do what's called an assisted clean. And we keep a rather loose grip with the hand that's actually gripping the bell, bring it here, and it might be hard to see, but I kind of jumped it and landed. So again, I have it here in my fingertips. As I bring it up, I kind of pop it, and it transitions into the heel of my hand. Again, I have that strong, straight wrist position. I'm not here like this. I'm not going to be able to press from here. I got to be here, strong, straight wrist position, okay? So, again, the easiest way to do that is to do what's called the assisted clean. Come down, it's in my fingertips, I have it, I assist it, pop it, transition it here. You'll know you're in the right position when it's running about parallel to your calluses, okay? Strong, straight wrist, this is how we do that. We're going to use this for our cleans, for our snatches, anything where we're transitioning back and forth, and this is going to keep our hands from tearing. Okay? So play around with these different grips. The grips for your overhand barbell lifts, for your presses, with your kettlebells. And if you have any questions whatsoever, be sure to let us know. We're here in our brand new facility in Dulles, Virginia. And if you're interested in coming by, checking us out, you're welcome anytime. Just head over to bspnova.com and sign up for your free consultation. And we can't wait to meet you. We'll talk soon.